lesson. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to please read for me the objectives for today's lesson. All right.
Okay. By the end of this,
Yes.
okay. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to discuss order of probability using conditional tense. Talk about your English goals using different past tense.
Okay. So we have tense, but then when they are many, we say tenses.
Tenses, okay?
Tenses. Yes. All right. Thank you so much for reading, Wasilo. Okay, so let's look at the first part of our lesson. Okay, so we're going to practice pronouncing the ed ending. Okay, so we have some few words here that end with ed, but they are not pronounced the same. Okay, so let's look at the first example. Can you pronounce these words for me?
Okay. Uh, Walked, is
Mm-hmm.
this? Hoped.
Yes, yes, hoped.
Hoped.
All right. So as you can hear, when you pronounce these words, we have that T sound at the end. So that's why there's a T there. So we say walked and hoped.
Walked,
Right. So
hoped.
yes, yes. So instead of saying walked or hoped, we pronounce them as T. Walked, hoped. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Yes, and let's look at the second way to pronounce words ending with ed. Can you pronounce these ones for me?
Mm-hmm. Ended, waited.
Yes, okay. So instead of saying pronouncing it with a T, we pronounce it with id. So it's ended and waited. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear the difference? The first one was walked, and the second one is ended.
Uh-huh.
All right, so it's pronounced differently. And let's look at the third way to pronounce these words.
Played, called.
Yeah, so it's called. All right. So we have the D pronunciation. Okay, so we say played and called. All right. And the difference between the first one, it's walked and not walked. Okay, so can you hear the different sounds on
Mm-hmm.
how to pronounce the words? Yes. Yes. Okay. So when we look at words that have the T pronunciation, do you have any words maybe in mind that have the T sound? Walked, hoped. What's another word ending with the ed?
What other verbs have 80 sounds? Uh,
Yes.
uh,
Or you can also give me words that end with ed, and then we'll identify them together under which pronunciation they fall under. Okay, so you can give me any words ending with ed.
mm-hmm. I don't, nothing in my mind now.
Okay, just any verbs you can think of. All right, because we add ed when it's past tense. So just give me any verbs.
Liked.
Liked.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So when you pronounce it, do you hear the T or do you hear the the id, or do you hear the D when you say liked? Which one do you think it falls under?
Teacher,
Liked.
wait a second, please.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I come back. Have your
Okay.
constructions near and the sound was disturbing me.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so as I was saying, we have the word liked. So under which pronunciation do you think it would fall under? Does it sound like walked, hoped, liked? Do you think it sounds the same, right?
Mm-hmm. Teacher.
Okay, so we'll put it there. We'll say liked because it pronounced as
Uh-huh.
with the t sound. Yes. And can you also give me another word and we'll identify it together where it falls under?
Yes, my doubt is about uh, have some rules that I can identify these different sounds, or only studying vocabulary and recording in my mind the sounds.
Okay, can you repeat the question for me? I'm not understanding you quite well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have you some way that help me identify this difference between the sound in these words or not? I mean, only need to learn vocabulary and record the sounds.
Oh, okay. So the way you can learn the sounds is by listening.
Uhum, tá.
Okay. So just as I said, liked, who walked and hoped. So you can listen and hear that they sound the same.
Uhum,
Okay. Yes. So that's how you'd identify they have the T sound. Okay.
uhum,
So for example, the it, we have ended and we have waited. So you can also hear that they sound the same.
uhum.
Okay.
Okay.
So another example of it would be ended, waited. Do you
Uhum.
have another example you can think of that ends with that sound?
Uh, Ended, waited. Uh, I don't know. Don't know.
Okay. Let us look at the D sound so long. Okay. So we have played, called,
Colored.
and what about laughed? Okay, when you're laughing. So laughed,
Uhum.
that would also fall under the D.
Ah, laugh. Uh-huh.
Laughed.
Laughed.
Yes. So that would also fall under the D pronunciation at the end. Okay. And let's think of also another word that would sound the same as ended, waited.
Mm-hmm.
Can you
Ended,
think of another word?
ended, waited. Wait. No, teacher, I don't have nothing in my mind.
Okay, so we can say maybe twisted or melted. You know, when something is melting?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that would also be another example of melted.
Melted. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So can you see the differences between the different pronunciations?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right then. Excellent, Marcelo. Let's look at the next part of our lesson, okay? And I'm going to ask you to please read for me.